We were shit scared, to put it lightly.
It was all trash.
It is harder to build a business while you're traveling, for sure. Everyone's a bit scammy.
Like, oh look, I've got 17 streams of income.
You're probably not going to make money in the first month.
And then one stage we worked 2 days in 1 day.
You really need to have a look at your relationship. You're just going to freak out.
But that's not how business works.
We're going to have fun.
We can have a share of the fun drink. Our very first YouTube video.
It is. It really is.
We started Boring Studios, which is a creative company, a year and a half ago. And we made the decision almost 4 months ago now to take our business overseas. So now we're just traveling the world, growing our business, and eating lots of food. Anyway, let's get into the first question.
Let's get into it. Very first question, locked and loaded. What inspired you to start your branding company, and how did you get started? I think we've both been very business-minded our whole lives. We both started a few different businesses in our 20s that ultimately failed, but I think the combination of us together made us be able to have a successful business.
Make the leap.
Yeah, totally. We had each other to encourage us to make the leap, which I think a lot of people don't have when they're starting a business. It's usually just themselves.
Yeah. We both had entrepreneurial mindsets, and we both wanted to start businesses and work for ourselves, but we both fell into like jobs that maybe at the time were like pretty good, or like they were stable, or had good opportunities. So we it kind of got pushed to the back. But then when we met each other, we got to the point where we were like, we both want to do it. Why don't we just do it together? And then we kind of just made the decision to have a crack.
We were definitely discussing it a lot, and I am a serial job hopper, which I think you should be in your 20s. I feel like you should definitely change jobs every year or every 2 years, which is what I did. And I was kind of coming up to my year in a job that I had progressed in, but I wasn't enjoying. And I was just saying to Eden, I was like, I need to quit. And I was just waiting for Eden to quit.
It's like, shut up.
And then I remember that day that you called me, I went into a meeting room. And I remember my boss was looking at me, and I was like smiling, and he was like, who called you? And I was like, oh, my mum. And you just told me that you'd quit. And I was so excited. Quit. Yeah, and I was so excited. But you had to give 6 weeks, and I had to give, I think, 4.
We quit our jobs within like a week of each other.
We were shit scared, to put it lightly, about what it was going to look like, what even our business was going to be. But we just knew that we wanted to do something creative, utilize our skill set that we had built over the years.
Yeah. Also, obviously, we both have creative job backgrounds. So we kind of just put all our skills together and thought, how can we sell this ourselves rather than selling it for a boss who then sells it to someone. So kind of like, I think we knew what we were doing. Like we have experience, and we had the knowledge of what the creative skill was to execute it and be able to sell it ourselves.
Yeah, totally.
At my previous job, I was there for a long time, so I had quite a lot of annual leave, which like money from my job.
Money.
And I think we had like 3 months of
leeway
of like runway until we would have to get a job. I don't know where we got to there, but that's how we got started. What were some of the biggest challenges we faced in our first year of business? One of the biggest challenges we had was finding what time and how much to work each week. I remember we used to change it up. So initially we worked like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but we're like, that's boring, and we don't have to do that. And then one stage we worked 2 days in 1 day. So we'd work like 6 a.m. till midday, go to the gym, and then work like 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. Doesn't work. It was ridiculous. And then I think when we were in Melbourne, we ended up working like Saturdays and then not Sundays and Mondays. We could work 24/7 if we wanted to. Work was there, the kitchen's there, our bed's there. So it was like all very, everything was just there. We just stayed home 24/7 pretty much, except for the gym.
So I think another challenge we had was making money and finding clients, which is obviously everyone's biggest challenge when you first start a business. But as Eden was saying, I'm not sure if we cut it out, but Eden was saying that we did have a few months of runway to work with, which I would highly recommend doing. If you're starting a business, you need to have some savings, because otherwise you're just going to freak out when you don't make money. You're probably not going to make money in the first month, 2 months, even 6 months. Like some businesses don't even make money in the first year. I think we were lucky that we did make money within the first couple of months.
We got really lucky in the first month, but then it was dry after that for like a few months.
Exactly.
You need to know how to manage your money.
Yeah, you definitely need to know how
You
to
can't,
manage your money.
if you're living paycheck to paycheck, even though low key you were.
On that, fair enough, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was very bad with my money. I'm still pretty bad with my money, but I'm lucky that I have you. But I sold I sold everything. I sold my car.
You did. You liquidated yourself.
I liquidated myself. Just because you had so many savings, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like a couple grand. Just sold my entire life to put into boring, you know? I sacrificed a lot. We sacrificed a lot. Thought we were allowed to have fun.
I'm not stinky.
He's really
Not
stinky.
too close to my mouth.
He's so stinky. Okay, question number 3. How has traveling the world influenced your business and personal growth? These are some really like loaded questions.
But we want loaded.
Yeah, we do. Think in terms of branding. There's branding everywhere, which is really cool. Getting to see the different types of the way that people brand their businesses in different parts of the world is really, really cool. And the products that people produce that you just don't see, and the way that marketing is so different in Asia. So I think that influences how we brand our clients' businesses for sure. We get to make things that are a lot more unique and a lot different to their local market, I guess.
Yeah. Like our array of knowledge is a lot broader. Like when we were in Melbourne, all we were thinking about was like Melbourne style branding, really like even what's in our neighborhood. But now we're like, well, look how different the branding can be in like Asia versus like Australia and Europe, and like there's everything can be so different, but you can take influences from all over, which I think is really cool. But as in terms of personal growth, I think being able to experience different cultures and even just walking down the street and seeing like different looking shops, different looking signage, eating different foods, and like experience like different like public transport systems and stuff. All of this kind of just makes us more open-minded, not like, and like I guess obviously more worldly, but that's a bit generic.
And you understand the nuances of different people and different cultures. Everyone is also the same. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's
a person.
Everyone's still a human, and a lot of our cultures are very similar, even though we don't speak the same language, we don't do the same things.
If you're young and you want to spend money on a car or traveling, I would suggest traveling, because in the future you'll be able to buy a car, but if you're old, you might not be able to travel. And traveling is going to be more valuable in the long run. It's more an investment into yourself.
Totally. It's just about appreciating different cultures. And it doesn't mean that you need to be sleeping on the floor like, you know. Alright, move on.
You don't have to go on a massive trip. You don't have to spend 6 months traveling. Just choose like one country. Like go somewhere that's really different from where you live. So like you live in Melbourne, go to Tokyo, go to India, go somewhere where the culture's so different that you're going to be like shocked. And it'll just really open your mind a bit, and then, you know, do another country next time. You don't have to do it all at once. What has been our favourite destination so far? My favourite so far has probably been Taiwan. I love Thailand, but kind of like it's not like a second home, but it's like it's so familiar now that it's really cool. But Taiwan is like a smaller Japan. The food's amazing. The people are so nice. Chinese culture is really cool. What about you?
Hey, what about you? I think my favourite to live is probably Thailand. Taiwan is definitely my favourite place that I've visited in terms of culture and food and experiences, for sure. I feel like Taiwan also kind of feels like home as well. Like things can feel like you're meant to be there. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's like your home. I don't know, it's a bit wanky, a bit emotional for everyone.
How do we manage our business operations while traveling? This one is a tricky question. Something we're still trying to work out. Sometimes when we were in Thailand, we worked pretty much every day except for the weekends, and then did stuff on the weekends. When we've been here, we were working one day off, one day on. Hong Kong, we didn't work at all. And now we're just trying to work it out. We know that if we don't put enough effort into our business, it's not going to grow, and it's going to plateau, and it's going to fail. We got a bit nonchalant and confident that we thought the business would just keep growing and we'd have to do nothing, but that's not how business works.
What are some unique branding strategies that have worked well for your clients? I think touching on the fact that we are traveling, we actually used to use a lot of overseas inspiration for our branding back in the day. It's actually one part of our brand strategy that I've never seen in a brand strategy that we include is overseas inspiration. So you have a look on Google or TikTok, or you travel if you have the privilege to, and you go and see what your industry is doing in another country. And there's so many things that you can take and make your brand unique from a different perspective.
Real world example, we got a protein shaker in Thailand, and in the protein shaker there's like a spring that makes all the milk like kind of frothy, and then there's like a little container that allows you to put your protein in so you can travel with it, and then there's another section that has like you can put your vitamins in. And I've never once in an Australian company that does like protein shakers have I ever seen that. So all it would take was one of them to go overseas or do some research for overseas, find this really cool product, and then bring it back to Australia, and it'd go off. All right, this is a classic one which we have answered before, but we can answer it again, maybe in a different angle. What advice would you give to other couples who want to start a business together?
Dun dun dun. I think you really need to have a look at your relationship to see if it is solid. I think you need to put in the work to your relationship before you start a business, because if you're taking any kind of pettiness, animosity, any kind of, I don't like using this word, but any kind of toxic behavior in your personal relationship, it's gonna seep through into your business relationship, and your business is ultimately going to fail. You need to put in the work to make sure that you have a strong relationship. So yeah, we put in the work.
You can't back burner it.
No.
You got to put on that
That's a front burner.
that wok burner. I actually saw another thing. How quickly you can recover from like a disagreement or an argument. How quick you can recover together from that, I think, is also something that you should use to measure if you work well together. Like if you have a fight and it takes you 7 days to like become friends again, but if it takes you like, I just need to do a wee and then come back and you chill, then that's a good little.
We actually had a fight earlier, and you were like, you said
I
something.
filled my drink bottle up.
Yeah, you went to fill your drink bottle up, and you're like, "You still cranky?" I was like, "About what?"
Okay.
And it was
And
like
I came
30
back
seconds.
I came back and it wasn't.
Yeah, so I think you need to get over things quickly in your personal life and in your business life. Obviously, to a degree,
Yeah.
I think. But you know, we're both very good people. We're not really doing anything. We're not doing anything like major to hurt each other.
No, it's like, should we keep the lamp on?
Yeah.
Or should we turn the lamp off?
It's not like it's not like heavy stuff, you know. So I think just be if you're a good person, find someone who's also a good person and work together.
Yeah.
And if you're not a good person, you can be a good person.
Just work on yourself a little bit.
Work on
first.
yourself, yeah, totally.
Future plans for the business and traveling. Future plans for traveling. I'll start first because I think it's an easier one. So next we're going to Vietnam on the 26th of July.
Yes. Just after your birthday.
Just after my birthday. Well, we want to do like Japan, South Korea, maybe Philippines, maybe China in this little go. And then after that, we plan to go to Europe. We take everything as it comes. We're very unplanned and very sporadic.
For our business.
We did some planning the other day, and we're going to make one YouTube a week.
Yes.
Because it's fun. We like making videos.
Yeah. I think for our business as well, we're going to circle back to our original kind of strategy.
We're trying to help us 10 years ago.
Exactly, yeah. And we don't need to...
No.
We don't need to be these wanky LinkedIn thought leaders to do that. So yeah, we're just going to be ourselves. The reason we're not selling to clients anymore is just because that was just the trajectory of how our business panned out. We never were going to make a PDF and sell that to everyone to use. It was just kind of... That was how our audience... We attracted designers, we attracted creatives, we attracted freelancers more than we attracted clients. Like, yeah, there was still clients in that audience. Another person asked, do we still work with clients or do we just sell templates? We have definitely stepped away from the client side of things just because it does take up a lot of time and it's hard to kind of do both. We will still work with clients on a selective basis. I think when we started out, we were just targeting clients and we were just trying to get client work. And then as we started to make different types of content, our audience became designers and became freelancers and became people who were looking to do what we were doing. It was kind of just like an organic switch.
Yeah. Focusing on too many things at once means that nothing will grow. So we've really like cut down, like it's when we first started our branding company, we were doing SEO, marketing, social media, everything. And it was all trash. when we niche down or like just focused on doing branding, our like, work skyrocketed. Like clients come in way more frequently. So right now we're just trying to focus on, and we're happier. Yes. Now we're just trying to focus on the one thing, because so many business owners will try and do like a million things at once. Like, oh look, I've got 17 streams of income, but they're all dog. I always think about like businesses that have one product that does really well.
If a restaurant's menu is too big, it's going to be bad. So you want to go to a place that's got the one bowl of noodles, and then you know that one bowl of noodles is going to be fire.
We went to a night market the other night, and there was one restaurant that had the only restaurant that had lines, and they only sold they sold one fried bao bun and had lines out the door because everyone knew that one product, and they could just do it really well, and it was amazing, and they just pumped it out.
Yeah, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah, focus on one thing, and then nail that before you do anything else. How many more questions do you think we're gonna do?
Let's pick some good ones.
Pick some juicy ones to end it up, because I think we've been filming for over half an hour.
Favorite content creator and style? Do we want to answer that one? Do you have one? Stories. We like storytime content creation. I think it's a bit more.
Storytelling trumps most things. It's just really hard to overconsume, or like even to consume lots of like 7-second videos. I feel like it wears me out.
Definitely, yeah. I think a lot of people are kind of getting worn out by the quick content these days.
We're over
That's why we're making long form, because maybe it's a bit more valuable to
it's a bit more relaxing.
Yeah.
We're also, you know, tightly strung because of watching 7-second TikToks all the time.
We're all just trying to get dopamine.
Everyone's doing the same thing. They're trying to get they're trying to put the least amount of work in to get the most amount of result, and I think it's starting to come through now that everyone like looking like a lazy piece of dirt.
It depends what it is, because you're not paying. I wish you were paying. No one's paying for views on Instagram. Say we're making a video and it's 10 seconds, but we've put like a bit of text in there, like those quick notes ones. That you're watching that because we've learned that over 10 years. It's not because we want you to watch it. It's just like we know that you have a 7-second attention span.
Yes.
So we're going to try and pack that into 7 seconds.
I was definitely more talking about the scammers.
Yes.
Who are like, I made $7 million in 2 seconds, and then I make a 4-second video of it so you can watch it 1,000 times. It's like, no, you didn't. You're a lot. When you cough, I can't say anything. So like cough quietly over there in the corner. You can't be sick anymore.
So just on that one, someone asked, seems like everyone in marketing is selling to other marketers and no real clients. I think that's really true in today's world. Everyone's trying to sell you a course. Everyone's trying to sell you this and that and the other. Everyone's a bit scammy. The reason we're not selling to clients anymore is just because that was just the trajectory of how our business panned out. We were like, all right, well, we've just made this template that we've actually used and it has been beneficial to us, so why don't we just give it to our audience? Yeah. And we just started giving out free resources, and we're like, all right, cool, well, let's make better ones and start charging for them. And that was kind of just the trajectory of it.
There's a lot of people that work in marketing on social media that are a part of a pyramid scheme where they'll create videos, sell you a course, and with that course, they'll tell you to sell that course again, and that's how they've made their money. They haven't made their money by working with clients.
So they're selling you a dream.
They're selling you the dream, but it's a fake dream. Anyway, be careful. Another question is, love the business name. Suggestions on how to come up with one.
Ooh. We did a lot of brainstorming, but then in the end, you just called me and you were like, it's boring.
Yeah. Naming is a big part of branding. As creatives, sometimes our mindsets and our ideas come differently than more of like a algorithmic, like a data analysis. You know what I mean? Like someone who works with numbers, they might not be able to like have the weird ideas.
Totally.
But expose yourself to like weird different stuff, or like watch different shows, or go outside, or just experience different things, and then put connections between your business and that thing, and maybe it'll come together.
I think one of the things you should do before you name is do your brand strategy, because then you can figure out what you're actually doing and what you're, where you're kind of fitting in the market.
I don't know that I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you should definitely do your brand strategy before you do naming. Naming comes almost like after even your brand voice. Yeah. It's kind of in the middle.
The name it'll kind of name itself.
It'll name itself.
In a sense, like you'll know what the name should be.
Yeah, but I think an actionable thing that you can do is just brainstorm, just get a notepad, a piece of paper, or your little iPad or whatever you got, and just write out like heaps of words that you think are good. Have a look at some synonyms and just brainstorm until you come up with something that's a bit fun or a bit funky, or depending on what you need, but get creative with it, but don't go too left, you know? You don't want it to not make sense.
Yes, but you don't want it to be boring. It just slips out sometimes.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. Your name can make or break your business, so choose wisely. Any tips on managing creative burnout?
Oh, okay. I didn't know we were going to do that one. Let's do that one. Sense it coming. Sense when your creativity is plummeting and when you are feeling like you are not enjoying what you're doing anymore. Because even if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it doesn't mean that you hate what you're doing. If that makes sense. So that just means that you're starting to get a little bit burnt out. So take a break. Take a break.
I think we're very lucky that we are flexible with our working hours. But I would say try and split up your creative work and like maybe admin work or whatever it is so that you have a big gap between your creative work. So like let's say you work 8 hours a day, do no more than 4 hours of creative work a day or whatever it is. So like give yourself time to recharge because you need to recharge that brain of yours. Otherwise you're gonna burn into a sun-dried tomato.
Yeah. Keeping on top of your health is really important. So making sure that you're getting enough sleep, you're eating enough, you're eating right.
You need to move your body.
You need to move your body.
It's crucial. It's actually non-negotiable.
Having a good morning routine, because if you have a poor morning routine where you're, I don't know, having coffee and a cigarette, you're going to be craving that dopamine that you got in the morning.
Routines just make you be able to do life without having to think as much. The things you don't want to have to do, you can do them without thinking, which is so handy. Like you wake up, your body knows what to do, your brain just coming along. Sleep's crucial as well. To stop creative burnout, if you're sleeping like 4 hours a night, you're going to die.
Health is wealth.
If you're having KFC 4 times a day and not drinking any water, 2 things you can probably change pretty easily.
We had KFC last night though, so I don't. So love your content. How did you get your first client? Ooh.
It was a previous connection that we re-linked up with that knew that we were doing our own thing. It's probably the easiest way for you to first get a client is reach out to people you already know, look through your phone contacts, look through your Instagram friends, followers, or whatever, Facebook friends. Message anyone who might have their own business or looks like they might need work and just be, hey, do you need some help with XXX or whatever? And you're probably going to get some work, even if it's free. At least then you can get a testimonial, you can show off some work, you can show off some real client work. And then from there, it'll snowball. The way we got clients early on, and still to this day, if we wanted to get more clients, is just posting content that hits that target audience. You know, shows a solution to their desires. It shows them getting away from their fears as a business owner. You'll have to do a lot of whatever you're doing to get the clients. If you're just doing if you're doing one cold call a day, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get any clients. It's a big numbers game. That's why a lot of businesses fail, because a lot of people aren't willing to put in that work.
You need to find what works for you. A lot of people told us to do cold calling and to do ads, Google ads and Facebook ads and whatnot. We didn't do any of that. I think we did cold calling for a day and we were like, this is the worst thing ever.
Not good.
And we didn't feel like it aligned with who we are, what we wanted to do, who we wanted to attract as well. So we're like, all right, we're going to try this content thing. And we just pumped out so much content. We knew it was going to get there because, as you said, it's a numbers game. So anything that you're doing, you need to do a lot of it. It is a volume game.
We probably did 100 posts on social media before one went well.
Okay, what are some misconceptions people have about the digital nomad lifestyle? I think people have many misconceptions about it, as did we. It's portrayed as very glamorous and it's portrayed as very easy, because for us, we're traveling as digital nomads rather than having a base as digital nomads. It's also a bit different. Like, we don't really have anywhere that we've kind of called home for longer than 3 months. I think the biggest issues we have is finding a place to work every time we move and figuring out a routine with how to work, how to live every time that we go to a new country.
Like when we were in Hong Kong, there wasn't a single cafe that had a PowerPoint. It's just like not a thing there. Here in Taiwan, we're lucky we found a cafe that's like 24/7 and they got heaps of PowerPoints.
Yes.
So,
Or just 7-Eleven.
Or 7-Eleven. It might seem really fun, like people like in villas in Bali and whatever, but obviously everything you see online is just a small snippet of their lives. They're not showing the hours of traveling and losing your luggage and you know, finding the right accommodation that's in a good area, finding food, and you have to live, but you're also working and moving around. It's like adding another complexity on top of your already complex life.
I also think you should know that it is harder to build a business while you're traveling, for sure.
It is. we're actually still trying to figure it out. The balance between how much we want to work, how much we want to travel, how much we want to explore.
But I think it's going to change from country to country. It's going to change every single month. But I think don't be fooled by these creators or these business owners who
On their jets.
or
You rented
flying
it
business
once. You
or
rented it
whatever.
once, mate.
Don't get me wrong, we love traveling and we love seeing, experiencing things.
If I'm super transparent, I think part of the reason we initially did it was because we were going to make more content about traveling, and we thought that was going to make a leverage. But I would say to not try and live this lifestyle because you want to make content out of it, because the lifestyle itself's pretty tough.
Yes.
And then doing content on top of that, like do it because you want to travel and you love seeing new things and seeing new places, and if you want to make videos and stuff about it, do it. But don't make that the reason that you do it.
Totally.
Because I think we fell into that trap.
Yeah.
We got a bit big-headed,
Yes.
and now we're just, we're trying to
Totally.
tone it down.
But I think as well, if you want to be a travel vlogger and you want to be a travel content creator, you need to understand that making content is your whole life as well. You need to have your camera out all the time. You need to be videoing everything, and it's going to take away from your actual travel experiences a little bit, But, if that's something that you want to do and you actually genuinely love making content, you love making videos, go and do that. Go and put your all into that, but probably don't have another business on the side.
No.
Like, we can't be travel content creators because that's a full-time job.
No.
And we've got a full-time business that's still, it's still a baby, it's still growing, it's only a year old. So we've got that to focus on. So trying to do content and spread yourself too thin is not going to work.
We don't want to live through the camera. I don't want to always be filming everything. You don't want to always be filming everything. Like, we want to also immerse ourselves in the moments and live in the moments. And then some days we film content, some days we just experience things, because it's so different to like walking around looking through everything through a screen versus just like embracing it. And I think that's something that I really find valuable and like important. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Whoa.
That was really fun.
It was fun.
Thank you for watching if you made it all the way to the end, and I hope that we answered your question. Sorry if we didn't get to them all, because we definitely didn't. But if you ever have a question, just send us a DM or send us a message. We probably reply to 99% of them.
Yes.
Occasionally we miss a few.
But if you have watched all the way and you want to see something else from us, let us know.
Subscribe.
But make
what
sure
YouTubers say.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe. So
They make fun of YouTubers because we are them.
I love YouTube. I spend my life on YouTube.
I spend my life on YouTube as well. But do subscribe and do like and comment, because it will help us, because we want to keep doing this. We want to make lots of YouTube videos. Don't worry, we're going to move the camera around. We're going to try and find our style, make everything look cool. We actually want to buy one of those little cameras, the little
Yes, but they're sold out everywhere.
the Osmo Pocket 3.
If you have any questions about business, branding, being digital nomads, whatever you want to know, we are 100% transparent.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
Should we go get a snack?
Are we going to go to the cafe and work?
Oh, we're going to work today.
What do you want to do?
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
I thought that's what we were going to do.
I thought so too.
This guy.